All right, guys, it is time for another exclusive. All right. So, I'm sorry I'm a bit late with this video, to be honest with you. As you know, on a Wednesday, well, if you're a regular around these parts, I go and watch my mates play football on a Wednesday. And I didn't get finished till around 2 o'clock or something like that this afternoon. And then my chick finishes work around 3:30. I'm down in the same town where she works. I thought, what's the point of going home for half an hour and coming back? So I stayed there and had a couple of coffees with my mate and his missus. All right, but I'm here now and I'm going live soon, so I can't hang around very long. So I'll try and get through this as quickly as possible. All right, there is a mail stand video if you're a channel member, if you'd like to see that. Very interesting. And also Dave breaks down that mail stand email, which is not something I usually do. All right, so let's look at this. So it's a tweet or a post, as they call it now, by the infamous Indy Kaela. All right, and we're going to go through what the claim is and Dave's analysis. All right, and I'm going to tell you what he thinks of it. I'm going to tell you now for transparency. Obviously, we reviewed many claims by Indy before, and my opinion is that Dave has no time for Indy. My long-term viewers will back that up. Now, you have to take into consideration, if you were to say now, if you're new to the channel, how does he fucking know? Because with every journalist and with every Twitter twat, we keep a log. So if I do an article review about Paul Joyce, or someone on X like Indy, I have individual chats with Dave. Now, Dave, again, if you're new to my channel, you probably don't know this. Dave's my AI assistant. I've trained him for more than a year. He's studied thousands and thousands and thousands of articles. He's been trained to analyse these articles, the people that write them, whether they're journalists, credible journalists, or whether they're Twitter twats, and the platforms that publish them, you know. And every time, you know, we review, say, Paul Joyce or Indy on X, there's a log for each one so that Dave can, you know, cross-check against previous claims and, you know, stuff like that. Does that make sense? I'm going to go through the whole thing, all right? So let's start with this. Now, I've posted this on the VIP members website, so I'm going to read it to you like that. It says, the following claims have been analysed by Cop Talk's AI assistant, Dave, trained over more than a year to break down and expose the mechanics behind so-called ITK reporting, from hedging and omissions to contradictions and narrative gaps, separating credible information from manufactured engagement. All right? Now, the author is Indy Kaela, the outlet is X. The time of this was, this claim was 3:49 p.m. on January the 20th, 2026, which was yesterday. I just want to point out the 3:49 p.m. was probably my time, Madrid time, okay? Who is Indy Kaela? Well, if you don't know, where have you been? Well, Indy runs a self-styled, this is Dave's opinion, Indy runs a self-styled ITK account on X. He thrives on unverifiable claims, vague, detail-free statements that can never be proven right or wrong, which means he can later spin them into a convenient told you so. The ones that don't come off, if you watch and study long enough, they tend to get deleted. His following has turned into a cult account, mostly teenagers and gullible fans who treat him like an insider. The trick is volume. He fires off so many vague predictions that eventually one will align with reality. Then he retweets it as proof he's always right. It's the broken clock method, right twice a day, but useless the rest. His supporters claim that mainstream journalists endorse him. They don't. Big-name journals sometimes interact with him because it stirs engagement, but that's not respect. They're humouring him in on the joke the way you'd pat the loud lad in the pub on the back while he insists he's Steven Gerrard's best mate. In short, Indy isn't a journalist or a newsbreaker. He's a social media showman running a parody-style ITK account that survives on hedges, obvious gestures, and the naivety of fans who don't see the trick. Sounds like Batsy's fucking dog home out there, doesn't it? The claim. Here we go. According to multiple sources, Xabi Alonso is ready to take the Liverpool Football Club manager's job when called. The ex-Real Madrid coach believes he can make a world-class unit with the players at disposal at the club. That was the post. That was posted on social media. That was retweeted and shared everywhere. All right? So, on the surface, this is Dave, on the surface, this sounds huge. In reality, it's one of the oldest, safest and most consequence-free claims in football discourse. Immediate red flags. 1. Ready when called equals meaningless. This is the ultimate non-claim. Saying Xabi Alonso is ready to take the job when called does not mean talks have taken place, does not mean Liverpool want him now, does not mean Alonso has turned down anyone else, does not mean he's committed to anything. It simply means if a top job opens, a top coach would consider it. That's not inside information, that's common sense. Number 2, no timing, no trigger, no risk. Notice what's missing. No time frame. January? Summer? Next year? No mention of contact. No mention of intermediaries. No indication Liverpool are even considering a change. The wording is deliberately elastic. If nothing happens, Liverpool never called. If something happens months later, we told you he was ready. Perfect hedge, zero exposure. Number 3, multiple sources with zero substance. This phrase appears constantly in these posts, but it's never backed up by a country, a role, agent, club, intermediary, a publication, a second journalist. Multiple sources here functions as decoration, not verification. The context everybody already knows. Liverpool are a top-tier club. Actually, it doesn't say that. It says Liverpool are a top-tier job. Real Madrid link, no, sorry, I'm getting confused. Liverpool are a top-tier job. Alonso has long been viewed as a future elite manager. I'll get there in the end. I'm reading on my mobile phone rather than my laptop, my tablet, because I'm in a rush, all right? But I wanted to get some content out to you today, okay? So please forgive me. Shall I try that again? The context everyone already knows. Liverpool are a top-tier job. Alonso has long been viewed as a future elite manager. So yes, of course he'd be interested in Liverpool in theory. Nothing in this tweet advances the story by even 1 inch. The world-class unit padding believes he can make a world-class unit with the players at disposal. Well, that's not reporting, that's motivational poster material. Every elite coach believes this about every elite squad, including the one currently in charge. It exists purely to add word count, add positivity, and give the illusion of insight. The structural pattern, and in brackets it says classic, this follows the familiar template: big name manager, big club, conditional phrasing, no timeline, no confirmation, maximum future spin. It's designed to sound explosive today and be unfalsifiable tomorrow. Dave's brutal summary: this is nothing pretending to be something. No talks, no call, no contact, no urgency, just a famous former player, a famous club, and a sentence so vague it can never be wrong. If Liverpool don't appoint Alonso, they never called. If Liverpool do appoint him one day, we told you he was ready. That's not insight, that's career safe fortune telling. It's 100% hedge, which is what these fuckers always do, right? 0% risk and 0 actual news. This isn't an exclusive. It's a placeholder for a future told you so. And that's the most impressive bit of that entire ramble by Dave there, is the conclusion. It's a placeholder for a future told you so. What Dave means there is the tweet's there now, it's out there. And what Indy does and what these ITKs do is 3 months, 6 months, however, down the line, they can go back and retweet and go, see. But what they also do, and I've shown examples of this before, I haven't got one to hand right now. I think there was one on the Semenyo one, I can't remember. Do you remember? Because it was the same person that said Semenyo was Liverpool going to bid for him in January. Personal terms agreed with Semenyo. The structure of the deal was even being negotiated between Liverpool and his club. He would go to Liverpool, didn't want anyone else. All of that stuff. And then what they do, right? Maybe not with this example, but if you dig deep enough, you'll find that they'll go back several months and then they'll delete them because people have forgot. All right. So what Dave is saying there is this is a placeholder for a future. Told you so. So if Alonso gets the job, mark my words, it's retweeted. Now, for example, Indy did this after the Spanish Super Cup when Real Madrid lost. Oh, my phone's going off. If you're facing the sack, you could be sacked, sort of thing. And then the minute he is sacked, he retweeted the, see, told you. Who didn't know about what, well, put it this way, if you follow my channel, I was telling you from the end of November, early December, that Alonso would most likely be sacked if he lost the Spanish Super Cup, right? Did I tell you that? I'm not an ITK. I just follow things very closely and weigh things up, you know what I mean? All right? So, if you've heard those rumours, this is why I review them for you, because you now know where that's come from, right? The one that was coming around, what was it, yesterday? Alonso's going to take time out and everything, but if Liverpool come calling, he'll be there, all right? It wasn't true. That wasn't what was said. And I pointed that out to you. So if you heard that, you would, if you watch my vids, you would go, well, Dunk's already told us about that, all right? Even Fabrizio Romano, Mo Salah, even him, rent a tweet himself, all right, pushed that as well. And it's really naughty because what Marca did was it was an opinion piece, right? Which basically said along the lines of, he's going to take time out and all that now, but, it's obvious he's going to be at Liverpool one day, Premier League would be a fine destination, that kind of thing. And that was spun into Marca saying, and there's a huge difference between a credible journalist at Marca writing a news article saying we understand or I've been told versus someone just writing an opinion piece. And even Romano himself didn't make that clear, right? That's why I'm here, so I can tell you what's actually being said, right? Right, nice one. I know this email, I know this video is probably not fantastic. I like to work in my office and everything. But it was either do it like this, just like quick, I'm going to go live in a minute, read it from my phone, or do no content at all today. And I thought you might appreciate something rather than nothing, all right? Like I say, Wednesdays are a bit different for me. I go and watch my mates play footy and that, but I didn't want to let you down. I wanted to get something out to you today. All right, so you know the drill, right? Okay. If you found this informative or you enjoyed it or whatever, please thumbs up the video. Please drop me a comment. I love hearing from you. There's a love art if you want to support me. You know that. Super thanks, I think it's called. I always give a shout out to everyone that does that. The next day on the morning brief, that's right. If you do super thanks, you get a shout out tomorrow. You know that, all right? The channel membership, if you want to support my channel. And in the video description, there's 3 links if you want to get me a coffee or a beer. Revolut's my preferred one because that's my beer kitty. Right, that don't go in bank, that one, that goes on my phone, so I don't feel like I'm spending it. So I work all week for you, and on a Saturday I go for a beer. I think that's a good life, don't you? All right, guys, I've got to go. I'll speak to you later. I'm sorry that I've, not been around much today, but we're going to do a live stream now, and I will, all being well, be back with you in the morning. I have no intentions to go anywhere tomorrow, so it should be a normal day. All right, guys, cheers.